Yeah, yeah. Yep, no change. That's what I had in my notes from when we did the first round. So we leave it the same. Okay, capital outlay. For building repairs. Do we have memory serves? We were talking about a roof, but our roof is not very old. Is that what we were saving for? Does it generally cost 150,000 to make repairs to the building? If every, unless it's something I don't know.
Last year, we took the capital outlay 100% out, because we had 200,000 in it. Last year, we cut 1,000 out of that.
But we don't have.
We have 150,000 capital outlay. Capital outlay.
We're asking for that, but we only have. Okay, capital outlay. Where did that show up?
Capital outlay don't show up.
Oh, it doesn't. Okay, I'm sorry. All right, next one goes to me.
And this was 200,000 last year. We took the 200,000 off of there.
You just wiped it out.
We wiped it all the way out, bring down our budget last.
Okay, so
That's why I said we don't know where we're gonna end for the commissioner's budget, when we get K-Camp taken out, all the other ones. We don't know where we're gonna be at.
So we don't have any set aside in capital outlay for the courthouse.
capital outlay is different. Yeah.
Capital outlay doesn't, you use that, a lot of times it's used throughout the year. We don't have a fund that grows on that. No, it's just part of the budget. It's part of the budget.
So when we say we have capital improvement, I'm looking at commission, and if we had a courthouse repair need we made, it would, if we don't have it in capital outlay, it'd come out of commission.
That means that capital outlay, if we thought that we were going to have, like we put in for the elevator, capital outlay to help cover some expense on the elevator. Extra. The capital outlay it goes right to your budget authority. Not like capital improvements over here, it can just be used.
Right.
But
So that's just a generic category there. We don't have any building repairs.
that's our auto. That's our auto. The things we didn't plan to happen, like the elevator when it happened, if we wouldn't have had a few of these, we'd have been in trouble. We took all of our capital improvement under that. We completed the janitor, the completed ours.
Okay.
So
Janitor's at 86, ours is at 68, but we know those aren't right because we took 25 out of ours to pay for Scott Lloyd, didn't we?
One came out of our budget. Transfer out.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, my question is, do we need to leave it at 150? If that's a reserve fund for what may happen, is 150 where it needs to be, then it may be higher or low? We could make it lower if you want it, but you wouldn't want to make it too much lower.
We took it all the way out last year to bring the 200,000 out.
That's where you found a mill, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
And
so can we take it to, do you want to leave it where it's at? My note says, this was my idea, said take it to 125,000. But we must,
I think it was, take it to 75,000,
do 75.
and then that gets your budget down to 650 instead of 720.
we don't know if we're gonna survive with the 650. That's the kicker. We don't have no.
Well,
Yeah, because that's what you did. That's what we're doing for this year. Yeah, you're right.
We don't know where we're gonna fall out yet this year.
So far, we haven't had any big. Yeah,
how are we at? Get where you find that at. Let's see.
When do we pay K-Cup for the year? End of the year, that gonna be on this year's budget, that's gonna be. I don't remember, I couldn't find my most recent.
the percentage
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Uh,
Look for That's so strong. That look great.
Yeah, organizations, smaller than restaurants, use both. Relied on power of the meeting.
Payroll. Commissioner's budget. Or
You
they,
see it, Bill's got it right home.
on July. 70%, yeah.
So what's the dollar amount that's sitting at?
456. That's what I'm doing.
456, so we can take 210,000 off of that, we're at 200,000. Take,
Spent 200,000 so far this year. It started at 650 and we're at 450.
take,
That's July, so we got. 5, 7, 12, very much.
200 some now, I mean, we spent 200 up till now.
Yeah.
When we take the 200 off, gets us down to that. And that's about halfway through the year, we're gonna be lucky if we're
Pretty close, yeah.
Yep. Like I said, it's gonna be, will be,
Okay, so then is it necessary to ask for 150, or can we ask for less? I mean, Bill says 75, my guess was 125, are you saying 150?
we're not gonna build it, we're not gonna build it. In there, we're just, I mean, we're gonna be sitting next year the same place we are right now. I mean, we're not getting any cash built up for anything, but I mean. But we did it last year, because everybody said, I want it reduced, so we cut. I mean, we cut hard, I mean, last year,
So. Some of the expenses just.
or 720.
Well.
But if we're doing it for 650 this year, if we assume we can do it, and actually, if nothing pops up. We should have a little money left over, 56,000. Right? Not counting any money that's sitting in our capital improvement. But.
That's, we got money in the capital improvement. Like, we can cover some things.
We don't have much. I
That was fun.
still thought we paid for. But you said, that's wrong. Scott Lloyd come out of a different. Okay,
Percentages. Already been included in that.
and we've already paid him in full. Or did we pay him at all? Partial. Well,
That, this was 25.
25,000. So yeah, then we're down to about 46,000 if the spending stays the same minus our K camp. We should have around 46,000 left over in there, because we got his bill. Do we have any other recurring bills like that or half paid?
In 2024, we had 785,000. We came down to 86,000 left. In the 2024 in our commissioner's budget. That was, we had a budget of 785,000. Now we're at 650, so. Anything in the state anywhere similar to what 2024 was, we will be.
Okay, so now's when I go back to the. You found that email, from Scott Lloyd. Or, okay, where was the budget email that you were looking at here? From Nikki, is that from you?
Which one, the,
The, I guess this page
that,
from the last meeting, okay. Well, I guess I see.
it's right here in one place.
Well, I've got it in front of me. Let me just look at it. I'm sorry. See. All right. So you're saying we need to leave it 150?
Well, I'm just. We knew last year when we did it that we were gonna take the 200,000 off. We had no, that it was gonna be.
Okay.
Really close. But. I just went back and found the one from the end of 2024. Well, because we're not at the end of. 2025 yet, so
We have it in the 2024.
86,000 left. And that was with a budget of 785,000.
Is that, we done, I don't know, did you elevator, is that in there, is that?
I don't. know.
If we leave it the same at 150, then we change our number to 713,515. That's the total. So we took the commission budget down by $8,000. $7,500.
$735 for the final, and $3,000 for the first override.
Mhm.
And then, the total needs for $3,750 from first,
And I changed the contractual to 416,985. That shows in there too. I could have. I use an 80,130 for salaries. 416,985 for contractual. I use a 66,4 for commodities and 150,000 for capital outlay. I think that's right. I think that's right. $713,515. All right, so the only thing in there that is a what if is the capital outlay. But to Rich's point, we're essentially running pretty tight in our budget. And so if we trim that back too much, or are you saying we're already behind? We just don't know it yet.
There is that chance, I mean, with the. Insurance coming out and just. Well, we've already spent 200,000 to this point this year, we're gonna be down to 200, we're gonna be. Right there where we're either gonna run out or real close.
So he's got 250, we got 456 left, 200 comes out for insurance, we know that.
So it's gonna be,
And then 10,000 comes out for Scott Wood, that we know. And then we spent 200,000 from the year, beginning of the year till the end of July. So, I mean, I see what you're saying. If we spend exactly the same amount of money, we should have about $46,000 left on all of it. But that was using a 0 for capital outlay. Okay, so next year, if we go through a situation similar to this one where we don't have a major unplanned repair, in theory, with this budget, will we have 46,000 that we start with plus the one, because every other dollar is accounted for, the 150 could be a reason,
Could be that,
it could be cash, right?
but when it's put into capital outlay,
Mhm.
it goes into our budget and can be used however we need.
If we don't spend it, what happens to it? Yeah, it goes back to cash, all right, so,
So that's where, when we move to capital improvement, cash don't show up. Even though at the end of the year, like we. Like whether $300,000 in capital improvement. You know, that doesn't keep up our cash side, but that's saving money for something special. That should be. That's where we're putting a 5-year plan thing in place on how we use our money on
Right.
capital improvement. Yeah, that's another thing.
that's another day, yeah, okay, so. I mean, this is all good, do we want to leave it at 150, or do you want to? Do you want to go higher, or, I mean, so we change it to 7. I mean, we've changed it very little, but it did go down. Tell me what you're thinking, Bill.
Well, like I said, at the beginning, we're trying to get back to what it was last year. But I agree, it's pretty close.
We'll have it, if everything goes the same and we don't have any unforeseen expenses, we'll end up with $200,000. Plus whatever we have left in capital improvement.
I don't know. This kind of thing. It's like to stick to the 650. Which is only $70,000 down, so if you had 150 in there, you still have 80,000. Capital outlay or
Sure.
whatever. So.
Originally, I had it 150 to 125. If you took 25 off of where we are, that get it to 688, 515. I mean, we're still running pretty thin.
Right. Then it depends on how much you wanna, how tight you wanna make this year. You know, it's everybody's. Wanting less, that's not their year, and make it tight year, and if you, sometimes if you don't have the money.
No,
That
you're right.
have to say, you know. They
You're
wanted,
right.
they wanted like a $700,000 radio improvement once. For the sheriff's office, and we said we didn't have any money. So we haven't heard about it since.
That was for action for more.
And
That was all, that wasn't here, that we just continued covering Portland's equipment, so they're on their own.
so I think the only way that they're gonna pass it away. What they asked for, anyway. But sometimes sometimes you just have to do it.
Planning on no improvements or building repairs, I think is probably silly. We ought to do something. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna throw out 125 there. Just, and it's just a magic number, it means nothing, it's just, it would get that. It's higher than where we are, but it's, are we going to, well, here's the other thing. This throws into this. If the commissioners hire an attorney outside for their county counselor, that money in theory would need to go in here, wouldn't it?
44. That's another 40 some $1,000.
Did,
Or whatever, I'm not sure exactly.
did he send you an email that he entered in? Okay. I'm always for 2 minutes. I did ask him
I
about
mean,
to
well,
send it.
You take that, if you just throw that into the budget last year, then we're at 0.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Except we should take more off of the attorney, and then if we don't wanna pay all that. So cut that out, I'll take some off that.
You know, when you take it off here, then it's just gonna roll over to the attorney side of it. I mean, the stuff, the copier that we're paying for, it's just gonna get into another budget right now. We can move that stuff. Look at last year, next year, putting it in the right spot, push far down the road, sort of
All right,
shoving stuff around too much.
so okay, Nikki, we hire an attorney and we budget right now. Can an attorney come out of capital outlay? If we would hire on somebody?
I mean, just maybe contractual, but as long as it's bigger than. Budget, yeah. Robert's again on lines by like that Sean did, and he just as long as the department. Budget as a total, you take them out of the.
Okay. I understand why he's breaking it down, trying to show all of our expenses, right?
Which is good. So you see, which is good. It's lunchtime, it is. All right, I say we leave it at 150 with the plan. And we change the number to 713,515. That's my idea. What do you think? Bill, are you a hard no?
Yep.
Rich, are you a yes?
I would agree.
Okay,
How close it's going to be.
okay, so now, Bill, that's the gentleman's agreement, I guess, or even though we're 2-1 and yet. Is that gonna be is that a deal killer for the whole thing?
Well,
Just about, okay, all right, I'm gonna leave it at, I'm gonna put it 713,515, and I'm gonna put a big asterisk there. But that's a sticky point for Bill. You know. I'm just gonna write that exactly, sticky point. All right. County clerk, here we go. We've got one done. Yes.
okay.
All right. So the county clerk. Is there an election one here too? This one is so complicated. Where does it show up? County clerk? It's in. It's not in the general fund, so I gotta go back to one of these fund pages. Direct election. Election. Revitalization. That passed it through. All right. County clerk. We'll just go right through it. Salaries. 154, 140. In my notes, I had 59,240, the same on top. I had 48,660, 43,740, which was 1,000 from one and 1,500 from the other. Gave me 151,640. That's just what I had. That's from a long time ago, and I think
They're on books.
county clerk, yeah.
So if I'm on county clerk, hear me out for it, when,
Won't say a word. Go ahead.
when we're talking about no rate. And God said it about somebody getting a raise and nobody getting a raise. I don't mind that we have the election stuff and you pay extra out of that for when we're doing our election stuff. But I think we need to keep our base pay the same as last year, like with all the other departments. Want to pay out of that election fund when they're doing their election stuff. I mean, I don't have no problem with that, but I mean, the thing is if you raise the base salary of two of your employees, then it supersedes the treasurer's salary, we're gonna have revenue. I'm just saying, it's going to happen. I mean, I'm not, use the, the election funds to pay when you do the election, when they do the election stuff, I mean, if we're to stop and pay extra, I mean, you could say, okay, when you fill out your driver's license form, guess what? They fill out an election card over there and bring the election card over to you, so. The DMV, but they ask them if you want to register there. I'm just saying.
No, that's fine.
No,
It's fine.
I'm just saying, that's what's heading over. That's my thought, and
So I made that, I'm looking for that sheet. I did that math. Remember that mean? Okay. So saying that, and that's fine. Glad you said it. What I was hoping to do was use that county clerk's office as what they did, combining the two. That's like a case study of what I want everybody to do. Acknowledging that I don't fully understand the process, but I'm assuming that by combining the two duties, by eliminating a part-time election payroll or election clerk, I'm assuming that position didn't exist. I mean, like in a year.
For a short thing, there used to be one full-time, and they went away from it, and then we went back to.
In a year where there's no election, I mean, is there a year where there's not? Okay. Okay, so every year there's some sort of electing. Okay. So okay, what I was saying was, and I'll try to get through this and I mean, let me finish my thought stream here too, but I wanted to use that as again, as the case study of what I want every department to do. I want to eliminate a position by adding that into existing positions, but I don't feel like we can do that without bringing up the payroll. You know, to my theory is fewer people paying better. So I thought that they did that fairly well. And if my math held true, when you combine the two departments, and I understand, but I'm not saying we need to stop there. What I'd like to say, all right, other elected officials, look at what this one did. Do it the same way. Figure out how to do this with one or two less people, and it will raise everybody's salary to accommodate that, including their own. I mean, that's my justification, but okay. So if I did this right, they absorbed the one part-time person for 41% of what it costs to have that part-time person. So we essentially saved, by combining everything, we saved 60% of the actual labor cost of the one part-time clerk. Which if we go back, okay, so then Nikki, if we go back and say, we're not gonna do it, we're gonna keep it the same way it was, everybody gets paid the same, we need to add back in the 19.5 or the part-time election clerk. I think it's 19, whatever it is. So, and we can do that. So, it was 22,308, I'm sorry. Um, Did you ever do the math, Rich?
I'm not sure which one you're looking.
What I'm trying to see is salaries from last year. If we make no change. It just. Plus. That's 2024.
2025 is,
So I'm looking, I see the clerk in 2025. Election, oh, I'm shooting, I need to add one in there. Oh. So I do this right. This is 20. I think my math's right. So to do the same work, in 2025, we're spending $205,696. That's between the two departments for the department head and all staff. And in 2026, to do the same work, we're spending $193,800 in labor costs. That's for the department heads and all staff. And all I did was add up the payroll for 2025 in both departments, including overtime. And then I added the 2026, the numbers just right off the sheet. I mean, and that's where I came up with. So if you subtract that, if you take the 205,696 minus the 193,800, that gives me $11,896. That should be less. I mean, that's how much less the labor costs are next year compared to what they were.
much,
$11,896. Now we're down a part-time person, but if all the work's still getting done, we're doing it for almost $12,000 less, which is where and I think I took that divided by that 22. And so my math isn't right, but divided by 22, it should be 23,308. It's 51%. I mean, essentially, I said 41%, but it's 49. Yes. So, okay, so then Rich, Bill, and Nikki, I mean, and help me. Yes, individual departments or workers' positions, their salaries go up, but we're still doing the same job for $12,000 less. I guess I don't see where the trouble is. But I'm new at this game. And we're trying to consolidate people be more efficient with our labor. I mean, this is, again, this is why I think this is actually a pretty good model for other people to emulate. But I understand that you guys have probably been down this road and don't want to go down it again.
Talked to this guy yesterday, he says. Don't tell what you're making to the other employees. And you do that,
I don't think we can hide it. This is all
no, you
public.
can't hide it here, so. That's why it kind of needs to stay the same.
I never liked that because if I have multiple people working for me on my farm, I don't pay everybody the same. I pay them based on their productivity and their ability and
We tried that once, I mean, well. Not based on what they were doing, but what they were costing the county. And I was like, I thought everything else was whack. And Larry, yeah.
well, this is the part where I think we just gotta learn. I mean, we're taking the heat from the public because we think, a lot of them think taxes are too high. We're gonna take it heat from employees too, because they don't think they're getting paid enough. And we're not a jobs program here. We're not an employment agency. If somebody's mad about it, don't like that they're getting paid, there's plenty of other places for people to work. And we've got to have that attitude. And it's tough. But if you can improve your lot in life, if you got a better job offer, then go take it by all means. The county will survive. That's what I think. I want to pay fewer people, pay them well, get the best of the best to want to work. And we're not going to do it if we expect more out of people, but we don't pay them. Anyway.
So the budget went down by $7,000.
As we go through all this stuff too, I understand this, right? We got a meeting tonight, that we're here to get. I'm hoping to hear some ideas, maybe I can steer the conversation, we've got some complaints, we want to hear. Go ahead, but we need some ideas, because, my anticipation was to try to do this on the 2nd of September, and I don't want to push it towards the end. But if we're only gonna get through 3 of these before the day's over, we're gonna need more time. We're just gonna need more time. But then that puts the heat on Inky to get it presented. I mean, I don't want to go past the 9, because that's really, but isn't it pushing it?
We can't, I don't know how many days it's gonna take for him to change the budget. We submit it to us to. Put it on, we can go through it for that.
And that would be if we didn't do it on Monday. Then we're, I guess we could have another one of these special meetings offline. I hammer through it again with the goal of doing it on the 9.
But something I'm not, I don't know what to do.
I know, and everybody, I mean, we all, at some point, I'll be showing more. That's why, but it's. Understanding.
So you have some of your employees just on 10 months, how'd that work?
Well, just next year, there's gonna be, at least 2 elections, so I put a month for each election on the election budget.
Okay,
Yes, early voting and all that stuff, we'll probably do that. So I split it up like that. For the, the election, but then. But we're definitely have a primary next, so.
so
I think we, if we keep the salary the same and you pay, just like we did for the ones that are doing the extra work down at the sheriff's office. I mean, if that's a paid, every year there's an election, that's given that's gonna be given to those. I mean, it keeps our pay the same. And if we equal it out, we're still saving $11,000, but I mean, if this. The minds of people are, if their salary goes up and mine don't, that they're doing extra work over there is getting paid out of the election department, that's totally different than their base salary for the job. We're not taking any money away, I'm not looking at taking money away. I'm just trying to make it to where,
But didn't their base salary go down though? In the clerk's office? I mean, I know they prorated it, but
no, that's just because they're paying them over here $9,000 out of the election fund.
right. No, I
So-
understand.
But no, their base salary
But
went
for,
up to,
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, this is the shell game again, but if I'm looking, if I'm a business, if I'm a CEO, which is what we are, I'm getting the same work. Yeah, we're paying per person, we're paying them more, but we're getting it done for less. And if another department says, well, I don't like that, I said, well, get in here, let's figure out how we can do the same thing in your department. You want to make more money. Somebody lost their job here. Somebody lost their job, but they didn't because all we did was shuffle them over to a different department where we can keep her on full time. And that's great because, you know, we're gonna do some other stuff. But at a certain point, somebody's gonna have to lose their job and we just gotta get, if we're not willing to terminate some positions as a board, then we just will shut up and go home because we just sign on the budget document, and just go on.
So I think what Rich is saying, keep the salaries, don't increase the salary, but increase more in the elections for.
would be if they paid out of the election budget, they get paid X amount for doing that job. And it's just a one-time thing versus a. Because this way, if you raise the hourly rate up,
Yeah.
then they come in and they.
But then are you saying their pay doesn't change at all? It's just the formula for getting to that number, that's gonna change? So in,
I mean, cause they're doing shit. So they eliminated a position, so they're gonna be pick up that extra work, but it's out of a different department. And I know what you were doing by trying to, but that takes their base pay more from. From
54 to. But it takes to, I had that written down there.
up to 59,592.
Yeah, I had 59,612.
59.
But that's her wages. That's her wages across two departments. But is what you're wanting is to say, we're gonna keep her the same at 54,6. But then we're going to reallocate the 22,3 and then we're still gonna have, because that'll end up being more money.
But if you just keep it allocated to the same dollar amount.
But then they're taking on more work. And they're not being compensated. I also operate under the assumption that.
Well, it's not just elections, but they also split up. You know, but like if they work forces, homestead, I need to file. And the red work, all that, it's just the same inventory that was the election for students. That was all from output, so that was another. Block off, but
And I'm trying to, I mean, just because we're all out in the open, I'm not hiding anything. I'm trying to figure out how we compensate. Especially the deputy payroll clerk and the county clerk. For all the stuff that I know that I'm asking, to do, like doing the insurance stuff. And all this extra HR work. I mean. You know, I actually have built into that page I sent out. You know, that we ought to, well, and for the treasurer too. You know, she's dealing with all the landfill stuff. And I mean, that doesn't come really.
This isn't gonna stop, but this ain't gonna snowball, because everybody's gonna want to do extra for every little thing. It's not their
Right.
department. This is a snowball effect. It's gonna, I mean, we've been,
Okay,
I mean,
so-
the treasurer's been doing that. A lot of things, county clerk's been doing it.
So I don't want to be a turkey, but in the essence of moving this on, we're paying you $2,000 a year for these meetings. And that's the
You
extra that you're
You
doing,
just kept me at the same page with what last year was.
which is what, but we took our base pay down and we added 2,000 to compensate you for going to that. So that's extra stuff and we're paying you extra. And I'm not trying to be a turd, but that's just the way it is. Again, I don't mind paying you for that because you're going above and beyond what the other two are doing. I think it's fine. I just want to do that for everybody else. And it's not going to be an easy road to get there. But again, if somebody throws a fit and quits, I mean, I don't wanna fight that, but fine, go ahead. We'll deal with it. We're gonna have people so mad at us, they're gonna quit anyway, whether. That's fine. I mean, we fight that all the time.
Right, so
Well, I can tell you, I'm just gonna, we're not gonna get to where we need to be, say we're gonna cut people.
No.
Today, tomorrow, this month. It's not gonna happen. This budget's probably gonna have to be approved pretty close to where it is. Any savings that we cut, in addition that happens throughout next year, goes straight to cash for us. At the end of the year, we're gonna be so much better. That our mill levy will probably go down next year. Because we,
If we don't do that, because we're at zero.
No.
I mean, we're still in the hole. It's still spending 71 we're taking in. We're taking a long way around to do the hard thing, and that's what I'm trying to be, we need to be men of action here, and if we're not gonna cut any positions, if you guys. I mean, I'm ready, if you guys aren't ready to do it, then you just need to tell me, and then we can just fold up shop right now, and then we'll talk to the people tonight, and then. It won't be a political move, but I wanna say, if you want us to cut employment, don't talk to me, talk to the guy on either side of it. And that's just, Bill, you
let's
voted
say
for,
we've got 5 people upstairs right now, we're looking at a little over a mill that we might save.
but if we can save it, we need to save it.
Right, so we do that. That still does nothing for the overall where we're at. I mean, because
Because
I know that you guys objected to when I said the sales tax, but I'm telling you what. Even if you don't own a home, you go to Walmart and you pay money at Walmart and you're contributing to the budget and contributing to us here. Right now.
I don't object to it. I mean, I would vote against it. I'm saying. We have to, we can't count on it because it has to go through a vote of the public, right?
Yeah.
And the public would have a say, and I just assumed they would vote no. So, I mean, I know Fort was at 9.5%. I mean, you go to 10.5%. That's Kansas City's. That makes no sense.
But your house tax is gonna go up $400-500 because of what we have to do with it.
So what people understand is that. If they pass that sales tax, their dang house tax is still going to $500. They're smart enough to figure that out, because nothing ever gets cheaper. But really, Bill, you voted for R&R at the meeting, and that was fine, that's your deal. How, well, we're gonna get there? If we don't cut people, if we just say, I'm gonna take this number, just magically go back without cutting some positions and cutting some spending, some actual, not just saying we're gonna cut it, but what we're gonna cut, we can't get back there.
So. So on a general. I mean, I don't know. This is taking the whole thing. He's got $730,000 in there for.
Okay.
Cash reserve.
Right.
So if you take that out. And what we got available. That gets it down to. 12.65 mils. Yeah, last year we were at 11.3, so we're up 1.28 mils off, which is $294,000.
Okay.
So that is closer. And then that didn't include taking the $75,000 off the order to lower
All right.
that gets you down to about 1 mil.
But what about the road and bridge spending 850 more than the,
Well, I don't. We took. I put like $800,000 in the. Or the capital improvement, and we took another 800 some thousand dollars out, so we had like $1,600,000 to take out. So,
we're still burning cash,
well,
unless I'm totally wrong.
but I think normally the road and bridge has had more than what we needed. Yeah, so does that go back in there?
But if we wouldn't have gave it all back those years, you could have paid for your road over here.
I know,
But
but
I could have paid.
but what I'm saying is, this year we ought to have some left over too, cause that, what we're paying now.
What's your road and bridge payroll thing? Remember you had that chart, how are they, the percentage, what's left? Does that account for all the, do we know if all the oil and the rock and all that stuff's been paid for from the chip seal? You think it's been run through?
What do you want to see?
Probably nothing. Bill, at one time you showed us that chart, the statement. It says each fund, what percentage we had left. I mean, that's where you had that 456,000 for commissioners.
That was,
I think that was just from today's packet. It's at the end of it, right?
no, it was, from last. From the first meeting in August.
First meeting, in August, okay. All right, but because we're bumping up on noon here again, and we need to take a break for dinner. Just to think about this, but again.
So, this,
Go ahead.
so I got us down to about that. And the road and bridge, if you took off, got down to 37, or that left you only 0.23 mils over what we had last year. $52,000. And then the employee benefits, it's a bugaboo. That's still 2 mils over what we had last year. It's $459,000.
But these employee benefits now, guys, is a place where, you know, are you gonna be willing to make some cuts there? Now, we're gonna have to budget for whatever. And then we don't get the hard numbers until October, so that. But, I mean, are we just gonna say we're doing exactly the same with insurance? I mean, just because there's a place where we can spend some money, but it's gonna take some guts to do it.
Right. So how much? You know, shit. You ask the employees to pay $200 a month.
There's gonna be some who quit.
Yep.
If you go to where we just sponsor insurance for the employee, there's gonna be people who quit. And we gotta harden ourselves and understand this, and again. If people can do better going somewhere else, we just have to be willing to let them, that's what it takes, we've got to be accountable to the people that pay these bills, and it's not our money, it's that lady that Mary that sat up front, you know, I'm on a fixed income and all that, I mean, those are the people that are paying this. So, it's just the in between. Well, what I'm after is, are we willing to cut positions, and if not, then when we go to these, I won't even talk about it, but we'll still look at our commodities, contractual, and so on, so.
Well, we're thinking on. We're. What positions, so it's registered deeds, there's not many positions there she can cut that part-time person probably. Cause you're gonna have,
Isn't she there on Grant County though?
yeah,
Yeah, so
might
that's the
not.
point, yeah.
well, it's on what she collects from her work, I think. So that money that she collects from her work could go to other parts of it, but it.
I don't think,
That tech fund, you can only use it for certain
What?
things. The tech fund, you can only use for certain items.
yeah,
What kind of fund?
the tech,
Heck,
and that's how she
is
pays.
that what, well. They get paid every time they do a contract or something. Yeah, and I thought that was what was paying the extra help.
Yeah, but you can only use it for records, like.
And she's paying that part-time lady to put stuff in the computer.
Okay.
I
You can't
think.
do anything. or do like that.
Yeah.
Okay, and she didn't get very much anyway, so it's
Right.
not gonna make a big deal. But. But like a trader, she might be able to have that position.
And so we need, but, okay, so we need to be, if we're not willing to do it, the clerk and the election, same person. Had a position on her own, we didn't ask, we didn't have to
Right.
have her come in and ask her,
Right.
she did it on her own. Everybody else that's an elected official has to come in, and we have to ask them essentially, and they can say yes, or they can tell us to pound sand. And. You know, that's up to them, but if you say, I want you to cut a position in two. But I wanna pay everybody that's gonna stay there, I wanna pay you more, or if you say, I want you to cut a position and you're all getting paid the same, what do you think's gonna happen?
Oh. They walk. Yes.
No, well, yeah, you're right, they'll walk, or she'll say, well, whatever, we need a certain amount of money to do this, or he'll say, we need a certain amount of money to do this.
So,
Mhm.
so.
either way we go, we're gonna have somebody at a microphone angry at us tonight and tomorrow and maybe the next whatever, right? Or we're gonna have an employee come in here that's angry at us. I mean, either way, we're gonna make somebody mad. There's no way to please everyone. We gotta do what we think is best. We gotta run this thing. And I keep looking your way because you're on the calculator. You're. Anyway, back to the clerk in the election. That's what I think. I like what she did here and. And I think it's an example and a model for everybody else and. But I'm just one guy, so.
Well. Our budget went down $11,000, so that was good.
Right.
So,
Now, can we, since we're pushing the clock, both for noon and for this budget? As I understand it. If we would pass this thing and then other departments didn't feel like they had adequate time to make the adjustment. Can we go ahead and if they decided to, could we go ahead and make some changes? You know, in season essentially. To some payroll stuff, if other departments decide. Just,
You
yeah,
can change you can change your budget. Throughout the year.
I mean, I would love to talk to. I would love to talk to them, have them come down here and just say, you know, this is what we did here, and that's gonna put you in the hot seat, but you're in there anyway. And then we're gonna, this is what we did, and we like this, and I'd like to see if you can do the same thing.
how are they going to keep within their? Where else are they gonna put the budget, or how are they gonna do that, the budget?
Their budget would go down. In payroll, somewhat a percentage of the important. I'm saying you're terminating a position. That's where you save your budget, but you reallocate, you don't take all that money out. You reallocate.
But in any. Elected office position, office. All we can do is just take the money away and force them to cut out the candidates. They,
Right.
I mean. The ones that we control are the ones that report to us.
That's why if you need time, that's why I don't think we can get it done before the budget. But that's why it'd be really cool if we could get them to come in here and talk to them and use this as a template for what we'd like to see done. But I'm not sure you guys like what's done. So.
Because I didn't study it as much as I should.
What?
I didn't study it as much as I should have.
And it's all right. I mean, it's,
Saw it laying there last night, I didn't. But
I mean, I was going through, just kind of adding up what salaries were of everybody we had. This is what was presented this year, it was 3.5 million. I mean, I didn't get everybody, you know what I mean?
okay.
I mean, I don't know if I got everybody, but I just gonna wrote them down in here for every department.
Mhm.
And we need to cut 1.8 million to get the revenue neutral rate, so that's half of the people we'd have to.
We're not cutting half our, but if,
But I mean, to get down to a revenue neutral rate, where Bill wants, yeah, just trying to.
that's not my goal. My goal is to be like 4 or 5 over. That's what my goal is, to step into this thing. But if we're trying to save $7,000 on property insurance and $735 on the fuel cloud, I mean, and that's stuff we need to be doing. Can't we look at positions? That's what I know we're not gonna get there. We can't eliminate half the jobs, and I wouldn't want to. That's not what we're after. I bet we can do 4 or 5, and we should.
so,
And I'm not making any claim.
so, okay. Talk about the treasurer. So she would eliminate a position. And then she could take that money and designate different,
Of course you don't.
but not make it a salary, but make it. Cause that salary scale, to me, is a problem. Cause everybody just makes everything have to be the same. Everything, I think has to be the same, whereas she. Or she could, but,
She put in there merit reasons. in the treasurer, you know, if we're asking about, she put merit raises, we didn't see anything allocated to anybody specific. I kind of like that idea too.
Right.
Let's ponder. How much time do you want off for lunch here? Can we restart? I mean, are we done and we need to just wait till 5:30 and just listen to more? I was hoping to have some rock solid, here's what we're gonna do. If we're just stringing people out too in the general public.
Yeah, so. So I went through all these other departments. Trying to just using what was up there, their cash reserve, how he did it. And that came up. Maybe I didn't go back and add up how many,
Using all their cash reserves, taking it down to zero.
no, this was. These were the numbers that he had. So what he came up with was this, which wasn't too much difference. You took out all the cash reserves and you say 0.4 mils. But this was what that number was, and I guess I didn't go back and figure out what it was now, but those haven't changed a whole lot, they're pretty much. And some of them went down and some of them. Should have put what they were originally, but I didn't. But like the, not this week, it went down quite a ways. So I think that,
Summer help.
yeah, but I think the total is no on a lot of those are pretty close to what the last one. Yeah, I'll go back through and add up those.
I mean, you look over the last 7 years. Just until there hasn't really been huge increases in any department. We're not seeing huge jumps. I mean, you know, your biggest one, yeah, it's gonna be the sheriff's department. It's got the biggest unknown with the food expense. Everybody else, you know, when they got the food expense, you don't know how many cases you're gonna have, how much overtime you're gonna have. But when you look at everybody else, I mean, you got your employees and you got contractual, you got certain things. But those variables are determined every year. If there's an increase, you know what that increase is gonna be, but
As every budget goes up. And even small increases are compounding. If we do a percentage, you know, as employee benefits go from 1.6 million, 2.4 million in 5 years or 2 years, whatever it was.
That's a big
Okay, I mean, what happens is it just keeps doing this. And then we'll just work. What I want to do is let's break for dinner. And I think you need to water your dog. You guys probably have other things to do. Is there any point in coming back? Working through this? Or do we need to go to the meeting and we need to have people kind of motivate us a little bit harder? To your point, we're not gonna get there by eliminating jobs. We're not gonna get, we can't. But we can get part of the way, and it's not just about saving money. It's about having high expectations, and it's about rewarding people. Still want this courthouse. I leave here having done nothing else. I want people to know they're cute. I want the drama, I want that to go away. I want to get some better policies and procedures in place so that we can have a lot of these gray areas. And I want people to have resumes on file waiting for a job vacancy in one of these departments, because not only do we pay good, benefits are good, and the work environment is excellent. And they're busy all the time, but they're not overloaded. That's where I'm trying to get, and I think it can be done. I mean, we are, by talking about the employee benefits, we are opening the eyes to a certain group of people that had no idea. You know, I mean, they had no idea what these jobs pay, and you know, if you're worried about people quitting, well, let's worry about that, and we'll worry about a little less if we got a whole hopper full of folks, or, you know, 4 or 5 that are ready to fill in. It's not what it's just part of it.
don't have a hopper full now. We're not gonna raise our wages enough to attract a hopper.
We just raised their wages by, that's pretty significant. I mean, you start dropping 55, 60,000, you dang that carrot outside these walls, I guarantee you'll get some people.
It can go up if we do that and go up and tell that you're treasurer, the people next door that are hourly.
Damn right, damn right I will, damn right I will. If she comes in and says, we're gonna do the same job and we're gonna do it with this much less money, you're doing right. I will. I think it's only fair. I think there's opportunity in-house for pay raises. Everybody's gonna work here. I think it exists. And I mean, we've heard enough and seen enough on the time clock stuff. I guarantee you, there's opportunity for advancement and for pay raises. But it's not gonna be fun. It's not gonna be easy. We're gonna take some heat. But if we're unwilling to do it, then just quit talking about it and we'll just dance around the edges and maybe try to do something in road and bridge, because that's about the only other place we can save money. And that means we don't spend money on chip and seed. So is a half hour long enough or do we need an hour for dinner? Do we want to come back? Not want to come back? What do you think? I mean, you gotta tell me.
I said 5:30.
5:30, yeah, and I mean, I didn't plan on being here all day, I know you didn't, I'm sure Don didn't either, and. But if all we're gonna do is delay the inevitable, so if we don't make any changes, we're gonna hit them with 9 mils minus. We'll probably find $100,000 on here, we can actually do something. So we're gonna hit them at 8.5. Because that's our fault. If I understand this right, if we don't come to any sort of conclusion, we've already adopted a budget because we passed the R on, right? So that's what we're staring at now.
Like we come up with kind of figure and they reproduce a budget that we can find
Right,
what we got right now.
right, that's what we got. So there's our motivation. And to be fair to everybody involved, we need to get this done. We don't have to do it Monday. But we should. And then, I mean, the way I see it, the absolute hard deadline is the next Monday. But we can have another work session in between if we need to, but it's not. We're still gonna have to make a decision.
So you're all opposed for making boys pay part of the insurance.
Am I opposed to that? No, I'm not.
Not even. To me, that's a big, I know this isn't getting shot here, but. This. Employee benefits a big deal. And we don't know how much it's gonna be, it's kind of up in the air. So,
10%.
so if we plan on covering it by. The employees contributing. But then if it doesn't come up to that much, then we can reimburse or give a bonus back to the employees from that fund that we. Made them pay into.
So you can say the contribution and then personnel policy before the start. I guess you have to pay them off before. Like it's, but usually by then you're, you know, it's like. Figure it out before it gets there.
There's opportunities for improvement in insurance. And what about HSAs, all that stuff? You know, where employees have health savings accounts. I mean, there's a lot, and I'm hoping I'm hoping Watco comes back and we talk about all this stuff. But again, if we're not willing to cut the position, if we mess with health insurance, we're de facto cutting positions because people will leave. Right. So are you ready for that? Or are we just gonna say, I don't want to do that either, or we're gonna leave it the same? And then again, there's no point. I mean, all this stuff is just, then what are we doing? Just take their budget, just sign off on it and go. We can do it. I know we can do it. I know we can. I know we can. It's just ain't easy. The easy thing is just to do nothing and just let the chips fall where they may. But that's why we don't have any money. We don't have any money to play with.
We don't have any money because. I mean, you go back to when Warren Lee was here, he never raised the mill levy the whole time that he was in.
Okay, you relied on the valuation change to get more money coming in?
Yep, so he never raised it, and then we have just stayed. And then we're at a crossroads. I mean, I said it last year, and
So I ain't mad at anybody. You're exactly right. You laid it out. That's just the way it is. And the easy thing to do is never adjust the mills, rely on the valuation. Your taxes still go up, but we can't do that. Anymore. We gotta do both. And if we sign off on the budget that we got, we're not any farther ahead. In fact, we're still digging the hole. And my name's gonna be on this. My name's gonna be signed on this side, and I don't want ownership of something that's low quality. I think it's a low quality budget. We could do better. I wanna do better. But I'm one person. And if it's 2 to 1, it'll be my budget, just like it's your budget. But then that thing's hung around my neck, and I don't get to say, well. I say, well, I did that.
Say we wanna cut 4.5 mils, but then how are you gonna, if you cut 4.5 mils off the 9,
Mhm.
I mean, 5 employees and then get us maybe a little over a mil.
You'll save a little on benefits, you know, if you got to
So,
for that.
so say it's,
I'm
you
just
know,
figuring
say it's
60,000 ahead or set, but this makes them, that's cruel.
but I mean, I'm just saying that, you know, okay, so we're there's a mill,
Uh-huh.
okay. So we still want another 3 mil, that's still $600 and some thousand.
That's where I say road and bridge. We got serious times, call for serious measures. You just cut, chip and seal out. You focus on problem areas of the road. And then we work the same budget problem next year and we say, we're gonna have to raise 4 mills. Because we've cut all the positions we can cut. We've done all these things we can do, but we've spent time and effort. We've organized our road department. We've focused on the crap areas of our roads. We made them better and now we're getting fired up. We're chip sealing. By the way, we're gonna look at different ways to chip seal. Maybe we find out we can contract with somebody and they can do it a little better. Maybe we figure out.
Now, we checked that one time, we haven't done it.
Okay.
But I'm trying to figure out if, okay, we cut all the chip and seal out.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's $1.7 million that will not be there, but it's not going to be in the budget, because we're gonna cut it completely out. It's gonna be gone. We're not gonna keep it there, it's gone.
You cut that process out, but I'm not saying we asked for 1.7 million less in the budget. What did I use? I figured we're still gonna use $750,000 plus the 850,000 that we're using in cash. We're still asking for essentially the same money. We're just not gonna spend it on chip and seal. We've only saved $100,000. It's nothing. It's nothing.
But, you know, trying to complete a project, you know, before we cut out of road and bridge, you know, we already said, the farmers out there in my area said, do not put any more money on the Prairie Road until you overlay it, because chip and seal is doing nothing but just.
Do we need to look at a bond issue or something, or some sort of, is there funding through KDOT? A grant program like we got up there to help us with that? I mean, I'm all for not spending, that road is rough, but it's no rougher than the road from Sabetha to the state line or Laurel to the state line. You know, I rode that thing too. It's rough as a county. There was an idea, and this is, can we partner with the state to extend that down highway? With all that's, but that, I don't want to, I'm sorry, I said. Do we need to do a bond issue on that road? I mean, that's a major repair, it's a major road, but you had mentioned maybe the tribe up there had some opportunities if we could get together. I mean, that road's gonna cost you, won't it cost you 1.5 million to do that thing, to do what you want to? Yeah.
But we're looking to see if there's any money anywhere to help out.
Gotta be careful, because we thought we were gonna come up better over there, and it ended up costing
No,
us
it
a
really
couple
does.
$200,000 more than what we expected. So can we take it, put chippers down, whatever you call it, and grind off an inch or two off your road, and then go back and get the seal over that?
Well, that's what they said, every inch you take off,
But you got 5 inches or something.
well, every inch you take off, you're losing the integrity in the road, the strength of the road. That's why they said they don't wanna go in and mill anything off, they wanna come in and you put an inch across to level it, and then you put your 2 inches on top. Because every inch you take off the road weakens the road.
You've got a 5-inch base.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing out here is an 8-inch base, right? A 9.
Yeah.
This new project, that's an 8 or 9. So yeah, what you're saying, if you mill an inch off to level it out, then you got a 4-inch base, that ain't enough. You put 2 inches.
But you still got 4 off underneath it.
I thought they core sampled to the rock.
We core sample, I mean, we only got 4 or 5 inches there.
That's not all chip seal. That's chip seal and rock.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, how long chips there you got?
So it just depends on, you know, where they get it at, I mean, it's in.
all right, okay. Can we stop? Are we coming back?
Okay.
Are you coming back?
Yeah, I just gotta make some phone calls, I got the funeral home calling, so I'm assuming I have.
Nikki, do you need it now?
30 minutes, whatever.
Do you want to come back at 1 o'clock? It'll be 43 minutes. 43 minutes. So we will do a recess or we adjourn.
Recess.
We'll recess for lunch here. We'll come back at 1 o'clock. Then I guess I'll make that a motion. You're saying,
Second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.